What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Leverage Redemption, Season 1, Episode 4, The Tower Job. So, on the one hand, it is becoming more smooth in the setup and the planning of everything and the con that goes into this. This one, I see what the plan was, to go in, to freak this guy out because he has PTSD from the building falling down, and essentially trick him into freaking out and accusing the sister of planning this tower that they're currently in poorly, just like they did the last one, and showing it to the people that want to give them money and having those people basically just crush their names in that world. But it still feels like I don't know, it doesn't feel as clever. It feels very straightforward and a little too simple. And that's something that I feel like this show in general is lacking as compared to the original show. Is there's much more cleverness in the setup and there was much more finesse in how things are. This one just feels like it was very to the point. Like anybody could have gone in and said, "Oh, let's trick him into thinking that." They could have easily just recorded him talking about the building at any point. Harry could have recorded him talking about the building and then shown it to those people. Like it's just a weird, I guess, comparison, but I don't feel that charm because there's a little bit of a lack of cleverness in the writing, and it just feels very simplistic. And again, maybe it'll change. I'm holding out hope, but so far it just feels like it's not been clever writing. It's just been, I don't know, like these overly complex things that lead to, oh, we're just going to steal their money, or oh, we're just going to record a conversation that they have that they easily could have had at any other time. I don't know. I am not a fan of that so far, just because, again, compared to the old series, there's such a lack of charm because of that. So that's where I am on there. Harry in this episode does get a little bit more fleshed out as a character because they're going up against the guy that he helped out previously, and it's something that he regrets. And I like some of the conversations that Elliot has with him, and Parker chimes in a little bit talking about they all have regrets, but they get over them by kind of building back piece by piece. So I like that scene, and I liked Harry's conviction in this episode because I'd compare it to Brianna in the last one, because Brianna nearly messed up the heist because she just wanted to steal a pearl, thinking somehow that was going to fix something. I don't know what, but it literally was not part of the plan. It was not. It was just she wanted to show off. She felt like she could steal it and get away with it. It just felt so stupid. This one, Harry does mess up a little bit. They still manage to get through the con and everything, but he does mess up, but it's because his emotions get in the way. Something that he regrets that happened in the past, it gets in the way and he can't help himself and he tells the guy off, which then gets him burned on the con. That to me feels much more human. It feels much more realistic. Now, granted, it is something that didn't happen very often in the original show. Anytime somebody let their emotions get in the way, it never felt quite like this. This felt like, oh, you've just ruined everything, when in reality, nothing really changed because of it. It was just Parker and Elliot didn't have somebody in there on the inside looking over them. So it felt a little weird because it did feel like Sophie was being overly like, you're done, no more second chances. I'm just like, I don't know about that, because like, it's a very understandable mistake to make. I think back to the old series, and there were several mistakes that they made trying to be human, trying to help. And this one, he let his emotions get in the way, but it's an understandable mistake, and it didn't really ruin anything. It just wasn't quite going to plan. So I don't know. It felt a little out of character for Sophie, I guess. But I liked Harry more in this episode because they gave him more to work with and they gave him more personality. But everything else was fine. The setup was fine. Brianna, still a little annoying, still a little, too much of the I'm just young and fearless and, ooh, I'm cracking little jokes here and there that just aren't really that funny. Like, when Elliot's fighting the guy, she just wasn't funny in that. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm so used to more just like Hardison and Elliot's back and forth that this back and forth just doesn't. First of all, there's not really much of a back and forth. Like, she's the one doing all the talking, and it's like she finds herself funny, and that's kind of what makes it not funny. If that makes sense. And I've seen so many other examples of this. I think about like, what's his name on Arrow? God, I've forgotten his name now. He was the guy that was helping Felicity for a while. Uh, the black gay guy. I know it's a weird thing to describe him as, but he was the technological genius that worked with Felicity. And what was his name? Whatever his name was, that was kind of his thing, was that it was almost like he found himself hilarious, and that made it not funny because he just kept cracking jokes and kept being awkward and kept talking and talking and talking like, oh, I'm so funny, ah, ha, ha. And it wasn't, where Hardison and Elliot, Hardison would crack a joke, Elliot would react, and that was funny. This is like Brianna just talks and talks and talks, and she's like, oh, this is so much cooler in person. Oh, grabs a stick and hits the guy, and like, what? And, oh, I'm sorry, I got out of my lane. I'm just like, what are you doing? This isn't funny. This is a scene. I want to watch Elliot kick the crap out of this guy. And, I mean, he's still got it. Christian Kane has still got these fight scenes down, because there's that Elliot feeling where he's just like, when he breaks the thing in half and like hits the guy and the guy's like down, he's like, here, and hits him again. Like that's Elliot, and that it's fun and enjoyable to watch these fight scenes. So I don't need Brianna stepping in and interrupting with her little monologue off to the side that's not funny and just keeps going and just talk over the whole thing. Like, it's weird and it doesn't feel right, and I still don't like her character. She's having a couple good moments here and there, but overall, she's still just so annoying. And I felt as soon as she got introduced, all I could think was, oh no. They've got the young kid on there they're going to write her poorly because they never know how to write young kid characters. She's not like a kid, I don't think. She's young, that's what's important. She's the youngin', and I hate to say that because it makes me feel old. But she's the youngin' that thinks she knows better than everybody else, and she's going to talk a lot and just be annoying. These shows never do her type of character well. And so far, it's not gone well. But all in all, the show so far, it's still not hooked me. I'm 4 episodes in. I still don't feel like I'm waiting to see what the next episode holds. Honestly, the only reason that I am like, I need to watch the next episode is because I've got this hope that it will get better. That I will get like, yes, this is what I wanted to see. This is the show I wanted to see. That's basically the only reason that I want to watch this show, is because of how good the old show was and how good it could be as a returning series. I want to see it get better, but this show in particular is not gripped me. It's more the old show, me hoping that some of the old show shows up again, and that enjoyment that I had in the old show shows up again. That's really the only reason that I have any interest in continuing watching. If this were a show if Leverage were not a thing, and obviously I know how could this exist without Leverage. If I had not seen the show Leverage before I saw this show, if this show just happened to pop up, never heard of Leverage before, I was like, I'll check this out. This would not get me interested in watching Leverage. And I feel like that's kind of disservice, because this is something that could make people go, oh, Leverage? Hey, wasn't that a show originally? I wonder what that's like. Well, let me watch this one. And then they watch this and like, you know what? This isn't that great. That's kind of how I feel like this show is doing a disservice to the original show. Because it should make people want to go, yeah, I want to watch that old show. But I just don't feel like this is doing anything that's going to make people go, oh, yeah, I want to watch more. And that's a problem. So, anyways, I think that's about it for this episode. Can't think of anything else that was involved. But anyways, with all that being said, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts in this episode? Let me know. We could talk about and discuss all the good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Leverage Redemption reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.